Welcome to Doonbeg Golf Links. The Doonbeg golf site was designed by two-time British Open champion Greg Norman. Spanning 1.5 miles of crescent-shaped beach and century-old sand dunes, the course offers stunning views across the Atlantic from the green, the fairway or tee of 16 of the 18 holes. Variations in wind speed and direction ensure the course plays differently each and every time. Hole 1 is a par 5, 567 yards. It's a long par 5 to start your round on this unique links golf course, and the key to your opening drive is to aim right centre of the fairway. 250 yards and a layup shot would be recommended to avoid the well-positioned fairway pot bunker in front of the green. 100 yards from the green and too big will result in chipping back from the dunes that protect three sides of the green. The first green has a contour back left and has a slope to the front. Hole 2 is a par 4, 426 yards. Hole 2 has a difficult blind tee shot. Aim for the white stone and beware of the well-positioned bunkers on the right-hand side of the fairway. 100 yards from the green and you must avoid the steep sod-walled bunker in front of the green. Pin position is everything and use plenty of loft. The second green falls away from the middle to the left and to the right. Hole 3 is a par 4, 361 yards. This short par 4 will allow you to pick your favourite club off the tee and offers variety with the course's smallest green. 100 yards from the green, a demanding and accurate second shot is required to secure your par here. Avoid the three bunkers, two front left and one left of the green. The third green slopes from middle to front right. Hole 4 is a par 5, 592 yards. This inland par 5 is a wonderfully natural links hole. Choose to drive short of the left bunker or over the dell according to your talent. 250 yards and favour the right side of the fairway to avoid the 5 sod wall bunkers on the left. 100 yards from the green, this elegant asymmetrical green sits just over an old rock and sod wall that has been there for years. Careful avoidance of this wall and pot bunker may yield a birdie. The fourth green has plenty of contours, leaving all putts tricky. Hole 5 is a par 4, 373 yards. This uphill par 4 drives you to a saddle between the dunes. 150 yards and your second shot to this oceanfront green is intimidating due to the wind, encouraging you to test your touch with a low shot to run onto the oceanfront putting surface. The fifth green has a sharp fall back and slopes from the middle to front. Hole 6 is a par 4, 370 yards. This par 4 running directly along the ocean is stunning. The drive is partially blind and the deep fairway bunker on the right must be avoided. 100 yards from the green and your second shot should be middle of the green or slightly right. Left is a very difficult strategy. The sixth green is a real test and depends on pin position. There's a severe slope from the middle to back. Hole 7 is a par 3, 227 yards. This, the first of the par 3s, is the longest and is nestled in a coliseum of smaller dunes that frame this hole. Aesthetically, it's the sleeper hole, rivaling several others in its laid-back drama. The seventh green has a slope from back left to front right. Hole 8 is a par 5, 582 yards. This par 5 is the most difficult on the course. It is truly a three-shot par 5. The only advice here is to keep your drive straight. 250 yards and a layup down the left side would be recommended, but care is required to avoid the well-placed bunker on the right. 100 yards and your third shot is toward the ocean, and you must fight hard into the prevailing winds. There is one steep pot bunker to avoid, front left. The eighth green is huge, with very challenging undulations that make Old St Andrews greens seem tame by comparison. Hole 9 is a par 3 175 yards. This short par 3 is influenced by dunes right and back, while the left sits hard on the ocean's cliff. The 9th green is a long green front to back. Hole 10 is a par 5 580 yards. This is a wonderful par 5 that some days tempts the risk or reward second shot to reach the green. 250 yards. If you lay up on your second and favour the right side, this will give the best angle to the sublime green sight sunken in the dune below. 100 yards from the green and your approach depends on pin position. For safe play, aim for the middle of the green. The 10th green is very long, and if you're putting from front to back, expect nothing other than 2 putts, if you're lucky. Hole 11 is a par 3 148 yards. This elevated par 3, with an extremely deep sod-wall bunker short right, will put fear in the bravest golfer. The 11th green is a 2-tiered green. Hole 12 is a par 4 401 yards. This is a hard par 4 that demands a solid drive. Favour the left centre of the fairway to open up your approach shot. 150 yards and this green complex sits between a dune and a rock and sod wall. The best second shot is a run up to this large green, but beware of the unusual sand trap centre of the green. The 12th green has plenty of hollows and contours and depends on pin position. Hole 13 is a par 5 500 yards. This is a remarkable par 5, a favourite of both golfers and photographers. It's an authentic blind drive hole to a completely natural fairway. 250 yards and the second shot must stay left to allow for the proper third shot to this elevated green. 100 yards and use plenty of loft and club, but don't be too big. Middle of the green is the safe approach, or short of the pin. The 13th green has a slope back to front, leaving all downhill putts tricky. Stand on the back of the green to feel the ocean's strength. Hole 14 is a par 3 111 yards. This could be the most sensational short par 3 in Ireland, if not the world. The ocean view extending all the way to the far peninsula is unforgettable. The 14th green is long back to front and has a contour middle right. Hole 15 is a par 4 405 yards, playing entirely along an ocean ridge. This hole has already been acclaimed as a contender for the best par 4 in links golf. 150 yards and what a setting. Playing into a green that is requiring nothing other than perfection. Not for the faint-hearted. Front left is the only opening. Everything depends on pin position. The 15th green is long left to right and falls from middle right to front left. Hole 16 is a par 3 205 yards. This downhill par 3 to an enormous green starts with your tee shot from high up in the ancient dunes. The 16th green. Be happy with 2 putts on this large putting surface. Hole 17 is a par 4 424 yards. This inland par 4 is bordered by a rock and sod wall extending its entire length on the left side. 150 yards and play for the right side of the green as the ball will filter from the right to left on the putting surface. The 17th green is large and slopes from right to left. Expect 2 putts. Par is a great score here. Hole 18 is a par 4 464 yards. As with the day's first hole, the last is as fine a finishing hole as you'll ever want. The Atlantic stretches down the right side. However, take care not to bail out too far to the left, or your second shot may prove extremely difficult. 150 yards, and this shot is playing longer than it looks. Avoid the 3 pot bunkers on your approach. Landing in one of these could cost you par. The 18th green will test all your putting skills, a good test to finish your round. Thank you for viewing Doonbeg Golf Links, and we hope you enjoy the experience of one of the finest courses in Ireland.